On June 1st, 2012, a woman walked into a small village police station and made a report. She said, "My husband Shekhar and my daughter Lavanya have been missing since December 2008, 4 years ago. I thought they were just lost, but now I know they were killed." The police asked, "Why are you coming to us now, after all this time?" She answered, "I was watching that weekly reality show, and someone on it accidentally spoke about the murder." The police were surprised. At first they thought it was part of the show's script, but when they began to look into it, a dark truth slowly came out. Why were 3 people murdered? Who killed them? How did the truth come out? Believe me, this story will shake you to the core. This happened on 17th May 2012 in Tamil Nadu. A Tamil TV channel in Chennai had a studio where they filmed a popular reality show. This show invited people from different walks of life to talk about trending topics. On that day, the topic was about young people in love and how it affects their families. Do parents accept these relationships? Do they fight them? Or do they stay silent? The focus was on teenage love, especially when boys and girls are just 17 or 18 years old. Young couples who were in love were invited to the studio. The show also tried to bring their parents so they could share their opinions. The goal of the discussion was to understand why parents say no to such relationships and what problems they fear might happen. On 17th May, the reality show was being recorded. One of the guests was a 17-year-old girl named Bhargavi from the Villupuram area of Tamil Nadu. She came to the show with her boyfriend. Bhargavi's story was that while living in Villupuram, she fell in love with a boy from her area named Satish. They spent a lot of time together and cared deeply for each other. But when their families found out, things began to change. Bhargavi's father, Murugan, did not support the relationship. He told his daughter that she was too young and needed to focus on her education. He was angry and warned her not to meet Satish again. He scolded her and tried to keep them apart. Even so, Bhargavi and Satish were invited to speak on the show. Their parents were also called to share their side. Bhargavi's mother, Rajeshwari, and her father, Murugan, both agreed to come and reach the studio without any trouble. The show started. As the talk went on, it began with the usual questions. How did the two meet? When did they fall in love? How did they know it was love? And what were their dreams for the future? The host pointed out that both were still very young. Bhargavi was 17 and Satish was around 18 or 19. They had no job, no income, and their future was unsure. The talk followed that path for a while. Then the focus shifted to the parents. They were asked, "What do you feel about your children's relationship?" They said this age is meant for learning and focusing on studies. The children, they believed, were not mature enough to understand life. Love at this age, they said, is like a bubble. It looks real, but it bursts quickly, and by the time one realizes the truth, it can be too late. But for Satish and Bhargavi, their love was strong. Even though her father tried to explain and stop her, Bhargavi refused to give up. In the end, she left her parents' home and started living on her own. Bhargavi was now living away from her parents, but they were all invited to the show, and they came. Toward the end, the debate between the two sides got heated. The host, a woman, stepped in to calm things down. She said gently, "This isn't the right way. These are your parents. They care for you. You're still young. Please focus on your studies and build your future first." She tried to bring peace between them. Looking at Bhargavi, the host added, "It's better if you go back to your parents. They're not your enemies. They want the best for you. Once you and Satish are settled in life, then you can think about being together." But Bhargavi didn't agree. The host kept asking her to reconsider, but Bhargavi firmly said no. Bhargavi replied, "Even if I have to die, I won't go back to my father's house." At that moment, the host asked Bhargavi, "Why are you being so harsh? Why won't you go back to your father's house?" As the host pressed her, Bhargavi suddenly said something shocking, right in front of the camera, with the show being recorded. If I go back to my father's house, he will kill me and my boyfriend, just like he killed 3 people 4 years ago. Back then, a boy and a girl were in love, and he killed both of them, along with the girl's father. She went on to say that her father had also tried to abuse her. At first, the host was confused. She asked, "What are you talking about?" Bhargavi replied, "Yes, and they always threaten me. They say, if you don't stop meeting Satish, we'll kill you too, just like we killed those 3. Sometimes parents say harsh things in anger or to scare their kids. So, the host thought Bhargavi might be exaggerating, but then she asked her, "Do you realize what you're saying? You're sitting on a reality TV show, and you're accusing your father of killing 3 people?" Bhargavi calmly answered, "Yes, I stand by what I'm saying." The host pressed her, "Did you see it happen?" She replied, "No, but my mother always tells me about it." She continued, "Many times I told my mother, let me live with Satish, let me marry him, but my father never agreed. And whenever I spoke to my mother, she would always warn me, don't upset your father. If you do, he'll kill you just like he killed those 3 people 4 years ago." The conversation was happening during the recording, not a live broadcast, but everything was being filmed. And Bhargavi was saying all of this with her parents sitting right there in front of her. As soon as Bhargavi finished speaking, her mother Rajeshwari quickly interrupted. No. Whatever I might have said, I wasn't there to see those murders. I never saw it with my own eyes. But yes, he did say things like that to me many times. That's why I warned Bhargavi." When Bhargavi's father, Murugan, was asked about it, he angrily replied, "She's crazy. She's just making all this up for no reason. She's lying about the killing and abuse. She's so blinded by love that she's falsely accusing her own father." After hearing everything, the host became suspicious, and she wasn't sure who was telling the truth. Was Bhargavi honest, or were her parents? The host decided to record the entire conversation, but chose to put the show on hold. It was supposed to air in just a few days. Instead of airing it immediately, she told his team, "Go to Vilupuram, the village where Bhargavi is from. Find out if it's true that 4 years ago, in 2008, 3 people went missing, like she said." The crew member traveled to the village, which wasn't very large. After asking around for a while, he found out that, yes, 3 people had gone missing from that village in December 2008. He got the names. One of the missing was Lavani, her boyfriend Basan, and Lavani's father, Shekhar. Once this information was confirmed, the crew member returned and told the anchor and producer that 3 people from the village really had been missing since 2008. The show had been filmed on May 17th, and after the shoot, everyone, including Murugan, who had just been accused by his daughter of 3 murders, had gone back home. After getting the confirmation from the village, it became clear that Bhargavi's story was true. The 3 people she mentioned, the ones her father had allegedly killed, were indeed missing. After all the information was uncovered, the show was finally aired. The episode, which had been recorded on May 17, 2012, was broadcast on May 28, 2012. On that day, May 28th, the entire conversation I just told you about was shown on TV. A few days later, around June 1st, something surprising happened. A woman walked into the police station of the same village where Bhargavi was from and filed a report about her missing husband and daughter. She said, "I recently watched that reality show, the one that airs every week. I saw Bhargavi speaking, and I know her. I know her father and mother too. In the show she said that 3 people were murdered 4 years ago. And oddly enough, my husband and daughter have also been missing for the past 4 years. My daughter also had a boyfriend, and he's missing too." When the police heard this, they were shocked. Realizing it had something to do with the reality show, they decided to watch the episode. After watching it, they contacted the host of the show in Chennai and gathered more information. The police asked for everything, every bit of footage, both the raw material and the version that had been aired. They took it all into their custody for further investigation. The police started to feel that something was definitely wrong, and maybe Bhargavi was telling the truth. A team of officers was sent to the village to investigate. When they arrived at Murugan's house, they discovered that no one was there. Not Murugan, not his wife. Both of them were missing. This only raised the police's suspicions even more. In the show, Bhargavi had said, "My mother always warns me that my father will kill me, just like he killed those 3 people 4 years ago. After killing them, he buried their bodies near the well behind our house." The police had heard this part of the conversation on the show. Even though no one was home, Bhargavi was found, because she had not run away. So the police asked her some questions and took her back to the house. When they got there, they opened the door and saw a well inside, near a small open yard. The police started digging up the whole yard. While digging, they found 3 skeletons. Now they believed that Bhargavi had told the truth. But the parents were still missing. So the police sent out their full team. After some work, they learned from a source that the parents were hiding at a faraway relative's house. They were moving around often. But the police got the phone number of the last relative the parents had called for help. Then the police made a smart plan. They didn't call as police officers. One officer pretended to be a reporter from the same TV channel that had shown the reality show. He said, "We're from that channel, the one whose show led to this case. Now we want to give the parents a chance to speak, to show that they are not guilty and did not kill anyone. We'd like to offer them a platform to tell their side, which could help them in court." The message reached the parents. The father thought it was a smart idea and agreed. He shared a place and told the fake TV team to meet them there. But instead, a group of police officers came dressed like the media, and that's how Murugan was caught. When the police caught Murugan and questioned him deeply, he finally gave in and shared a dark story. If you've watched till here, I kindly ask everyone to help this video reach 1,000 likes and comment a heart emoji. Thank you. Murugan used to work in the furniture line. He mainly made sofa sets, and his business was doing okay. At his shop, a young man named Silambarsan worked with him. Murugan also had an old friend named Shekhar. Shekhar had a daughter named Lavanya. She had fallen in love with Silambarsan, the boy who worked at Murugan's shop. Now, Shekhar and Murugan had known each other for many years. Since Murugan had a good image, owning a shop, a bank locker, and seeming like a good man, Shekhar trusted him. Shekhar had some gold saved for his daughter's wedding. He was afraid it might get stolen at home, and since he trusted Murugan as a good friend, he gave the gold to him and said, "Keep this safe. I'll take it when I need it." Murugan agreed and kept it. Meanwhile, the love story of Lavanya and Silambarsan became public. Silambarsan was from a different community, so his parents did not accept their relationship. In Lavanya's family, only her father Shekhar stood by her side. The couple decided to get married, so they ran away from home to marry in secret. Her father, who supported them, sent Lavanya and Silambarsan to stay at Murugan's house for a few days, hoping that both families would agree to their love soon. When both of them stayed at Murugan's house for a few months, he started treating them badly. Murugan had hurt his own daughter before, so he didn't spare another man's daughter. He kept troubling Lavanya again and again. One day, Shekhar came to visit his daughter and found out the truth. He was filled with anger and felt betrayed. He asked Murugan to return the gold so he could take his daughter away from there. Murugan told him they would talk about it, but first suggested they have a drink. He gave Shekhar a drink mixed with poison. When Shekhar became weak and dizzy, Murugan tied a rope around his neck and ended his life. With the help of Murthy, a worker who knew Shekhar, Murugan dug a hole in front of the house and buried the body. Just like he did with her father, he mixed poison and alcohol and forced her to drink it. Then he strangled her with a rope and